In this episode, I'm going to share with you one way to make your interviews as a guest very memorable. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for today's episode of Interview Connections TV. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you one helpful tip to make your interviews more memorable, to be a better guest expert on podcasts. At Interview Connections, we work with a lot of people who are very successful in business, very established. They're authors, they're speakers, they're coaches, they're doing really well, and we start booking them as a guest on podcasts so they can get in front of their target market, get in front of their target audience to grow their following and build their business. When you start doing podcast interviews, you're not always a natural at how to make the most of those experiences, those conversations, right? Being interviewed on a podcast is very conversational, but it's different from just having a phone conversation with somebody. So one big tip that I learned a long time ago and that I continue to teach people is that when you're interviewed on a podcast, it's really helpful and it makes your interviews very effective if you put all of your focus on making the host look good, right? So you might think, well, I want to look good. I got to focus on making myself look good. But the host job is to make you look good. The host has guests on their show to spotlight their guest, to spotlight the expertise of somebody else. So they're already going into their show saying, I'm spotlighting this guest, I'm going to make them look good, this show is about them. You go into the podcast and focus on making the host look good. There becomes this really effective chemistry that makes the podcast very memorable. So a couple different ways you can make the host look good. Number one, when you get on that Skype call, on that phone call, make sure you come ready with a compliment, and not something that's fake, but really something that you genuinely like about that host. What do you like about their show? What do you like about them as a person? And just let them know that, hey, I listened to your interview with so-and-so. I just really enjoyed that conversation. You do such a great job at interviewing. Just start the conversation out with a compliment so there's just some warm energy between the two of you. Also, when you're in the interview, make sure you're using the host's name throughout the conversation. This seems really obvious, but a lot of people forget to do this. When you're answering a question, use their name throughout the conversation. So if your name is Joe, as I'm giving these tips, Joe, I want to make sure that you understand that it's important to use their name in the conversation. So if there's a Joe watching, I hope that kind of made your ears ring a little bit, right? Because people love the sound of their own name. And what do you know about their business? If you're interviewed by a podcaster, learn what they do in their business so that way you can kind of reference them. If I'm being interviewed by, let's just say, Jim Palmer, host of Stick Like Glue Radio, as I'm giving my answers, I might say, Jim, I know that in your business at No Hassle Newsletters, you help a lot of people with newsletter marketing, and then maybe go back to my answer. So not only are you planting seeds about your business and what you do, but you can give a spotlight to what they do. Plug their business, plug what they do, because they will be so grateful that they'll want to then keep plugging you. So again, just focus on making the host look good, and you will really have some memorable interviews. They will want to promote your show because you're helping promote them. They will want to refer you to other people. Hope that helps you. I am Jessica Rhodes. I am your host, and I'm committed to helping you build your business leveraging the power of guest interviews. Check out my podcast, Roads to Success, at rtspodcast.com. And if you want to learn how we can work together, go to interviewconnections.com/guest. Our team will work personally with you to get you booked on podcasts in your niche. Thanks everyone. Have a wonderful, productive week. Do lots of interviews, and I'll talk to you next Tuesday.